Let's talk about the good stuff first. I felt like that outdoor performance center was so great, and I'm sure it came with all sorts of risks. But tell me how it worked out for you guys.
I would say that it was a real, game changer for us. We were having indoor performances with about 20 people in the audience, which is way fewer than what is allowed by law, but still, we have felt through this whole thing that we're only going to do things that we believe are truly safe to do. And obviously, it was a big investment, to put that together. But yeah, we are hopeful that it will have a long-term use beyond COVID times. And certainly it's a solution to a problem that we were having, but it's also a solution to a problem that everybody who's trying to make any kind of event is having. We really wanted it to be something that is a community resource. And when we open back up in March, there are going to be all kinds of other organizations that are going to be programming that space along with us. Obviously, we will be very busy, putting on concerts, but it's everything from the churches and 4-H and name your organization. They all have the same problem that the Avalon does. I don't really imagine it being a 12-month sort of venue, but yeah, there's a whole lot of the year where it really could be programmed. And so, we're working right now with the our architects over at RAL to go through, from a code standpoint, what would it actually take? Because if it's a permanent structure, there's going to be things that have to be changed from what we're doing right now. It can't just be, restroom trailers or whatever. There's infrastructure that has to be put in place. So we're learning what that's going to mean. Yeah, and then the hope is that once we get those sort of first round answers, that it looks feasible to go and make it that permanent use. And if we are able to put 600 or 700 people in downtown Easton, that's going to be really good for local restaurants. It's going to be good for it will have a lot of positive impact. We're imagining a performance space, and it's set in this shopping center, or right behind the shopping center. And I think that there are all kinds of opportunities for other sort of creative businesses and complementary businesses. If there's anybody out there thinking about making a brew pub in Easton, I know where it should be.
You guys are involved in the vaccine rollout, right? What?
Yeah, in the category of you can't make this stuff up, the Avalon, the arts organization, are on the front line of the vaccine rollout. Well, we are never going to get into the business of putting needles in people's arms. That's what the health department does. We realized that we could play a role in handling the public questions and getting people signed up. We have a phone system. It's got multiple lines. We added a couple of extra lines just to be sure. But when you think about what we do in terms of selling tickets, it's not actually that different than getting people signed up on for an appointment. We have a staff that has really excellent, sort of customer service skills. And are very competent in terms of filling out the forms and getting everything exactly so. You have to know exactly where and what your seat is and so forth. So we called the health department and said, we have capacity. How can we help? And they said, we really need a call center, so that because we're just buried in phone calls. Like, everybody is angry because when you call the health department, it rings busy because all the lines are full. And they just needed a whole lot more capacity, and they needed it instantly. And I want to give a big shout out to Easton Utilities, because while we had the phone system in place, ours was one that sort of, when the phone rings on one line, if it's busy, then it rolls over to the next line, and then it would roll over to the next line. And that is not the most efficient way to go. It's not how modern call centers work. What they really do is all the lines that are available ring at the same time. The first person to pick it up takes that one, and then the next one gets the next call, and so forth. So they configured they configured software for us in a matter of hours that made it possible for us to have a really highly functioning call center. And again, when you look around Easton, you see things that work. Usually Easton Utilities has something to do with it. The Avalon is fortunate in that we are an organization that is able to sustain itself in terms of a labor and overhead kind of thing based on its contributed income. So as long as that stays the same over time, we can hunker down and do very little. And our plan is to do everything we possibly can safely. So you're seeing examples of that. But really, it's the sustained contributed income makes that possible. So, I want to put out some real gratitude to our whole community who have been stepping up and contributing and keeping us going and allowing us to do, the things that you would expect from us and the things that you would not expect from us. We're really eager to really get back into the, supporting the schools. That's been a really challenging thing to do in this time period. But, we're certainly talking to them about what their needs are. And I think, you can look for some new programming that is helping kids coming up too.
Thank you, Al.
You bet. Good to talk.